What podcast reviewer 37 describes as an indiscriminate hellish ride that I would not wish on my worst enemy. The industry's elite have said time and again, man, fuck those guys. Get ready, if your ears had butts, they'd about to be fucked. Welcome to the Butt Fuck Nowhere Show. Yes, indeed. We're here once again. And if you can't tell by the name of the title of this episode, we fucking did it. Mission accomplished again.
Exceeded
the
goals.
And
the best part, we hit 1,400, which was our objective.
Well, hold on. Before we get into that, let's just do the cheap little plug at the beginning, and then we can fucking rail it, all right?
Oh, my God. All right, hurry up.
I feel like it's been working. Anyways.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
If you want to listen to our other podcasts about other things that are the reason why we have all this success, you go to GameRageMagazine.com and you can feel or see the full menu of podcasts that we have. Not feel it. Maybe you could feel it. I don't know. You could feel it.
Grope it. I don't know.
I'm untouchable, but I'm forcing you to feel me. All right. If you want to follow on Instagram or TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, at Game Rage Mag on Twitter/X, Adam's at All Gas No Trash Official, and you can listen to his musical podcast, All Gas No Trash, as well.
Makes no goddamn difference. People don't.
No, they don't follow us, but they do listen. They do fucking listen, and that is the key. We don't need them to follow us. We just need them to keep fucking listening.
Oh my God.
And they're doing it.
I'm simultaneously agitated and filled with jubilation. Yes, we accomplished our goals. But you still are fucking us with the social media, you sons of bitches.
I don't know if I don't think we've tapped into that crowd yet or figured that out. I don't know if we're, and I think I've said this before. I don't know if we'll ever figure that out. Maybe one day, and maybe now with the plans of the future coming to fruition, which we'll get to that. But 1,400 was what we set out to hit. Well, really, we just needed to hit 74.
Yeah,
to beat the goal, and then we said, you know what? Let's just make it a fucking even. Make it even 1,400.
Yeah, okay.
And when we got to 1,000 in 17 days, I said, "Oh man, we're fucking doing it." Because again, the month before it took us 26 days to get to 1,000. So we got there 9 days quicker, and I'm like, "Oh shit."
It might be 18. I'm not sure because 17 was a day, like one of the last days we recorded for. Or it wasn't the last day, but it was the start of the week. I remember it was 17 or 18. So it's
one of those
7 or 8 days. One of those.
Yeah, one of those. Either way, well, it's 8 or 9 days quicker. Either way, it doesn't matter. It still was faster. And once we did that, we were like, okay, I wanted to hit 1,565, and 1,565 was the number that we did all of 2023, the 4 months we were first open in 2023, putting shit out. That was what we had total for the year.
I wasn't even down with that, to be honest. When you told me that, I was just shooting for 1,400, and then you said 1,565, but you spoke it into existence, and now we had. So out of obligation, I felt like we had to do it now.
Yeah, that's why I said it, and I'm okay. If I say this, then now I'm held accountable. Because if we don't get it, then I'm a piece of shit and I need to fucking work on myself. So we were stressing like, oh my God, I don't know if we're going to fucking make it. I don't know if we're going to get there. That last week.
It started with Thursday felt like it was a bad sign because we were inching like taking baby steps towards our 1,500. What was the goal?
It was 1565, right? Yeah. We were literally checking it like every single hour. I was just fucking like, I gotta know when we fucking hit it.
Yeah, it was already 12 o'clock. I don't know when you messaged me.
Well, so we had just done our latest interview that'll be coming out probably towards the end of this month. We'll tell you about that later. You'll find out who the fuck it is later on. But we had just finished doing the interview, and it was that night of the fucking debate. And then Katie was all fucking fired up because of the fucking Trump and Biden debate. And so I was like, fuck it. We need to push well, she was like, hey, if you guys want to do an episode, like this will push it over for sure. And I'm like, yeah, fuck, we're doing that. Let's go. So we did it. And we even checked it as soon as we got done recording. And we had like, we were like 11 away. And I was like, God damn it. So I'm like, okay, well, by morning we'll get there. And shit. What's crazy is that episode we did of No Party Preference got like 28 fucking downloads day one, like that we had it up. And I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty quick. But obviously we crushed it. We crushed the 11 we needed to get to 1565. So then I just said, all right, whatever we get the rest of this fucking week is just cake numbers. It's just easy money. It's free downloads. So we ended the month with 1,747 downloads. The Boeing 1747. One better.
What a coincidence.
1,000. Yeah, what a coincidence. 1,000 better than the plane that hasn't had a multitude of problems and hasn't caused all these fucking things to go down.
But we're flying high.
Flying high. 1,000 higher than the number of the plane. So I was fucking
elated.
Yeah, that to say the least, that we got that much further. And also at the so as I explained it to Katie, and I might have said this last episode or a couple episodes before, and I was right, that while I have set down the weight of 1565 in 1 month has now been taken off my shoulders. Hell, the weight of hitting 1600 and the weight of hitting 1700 has now been taken off my shoulders. However, I just picked up heavier weight because now I'm not going to be satisfied till we hit 2000. Like, yes, I went out to the board because I filled in all the stuff for June, and I said, okay, I'm looking at the thing. And so I write on the thing we need for July. And I wrote 1,748 because we just want to improve by one, right? If we can improve by one, that's still an improvement in the right direction. And then I wrote an asterisk up there. And then I wrote an asterisk down at the bottom of the thing. I wrote 2,000 because that's the real goal. Yes, we want to hit 1,748, but it sure would be nice if we could if we could break 2K in the first month of the new quarter, because as we said before, March was the worst month we ever had at 340 something downloads. The new quarter begins April, May, and June. April, we fucking murder it. We like triple that number almost. 900 and some change. May, we got into 13. I think it was 1334 was for May, which was more than the previous month, but also more downloads than the entire first quarter of this year. That was more downloads than we got in January, February, and March combined. And then in June, we knock out a new high score for the month, and we did more than we did in 4 months of quarter, what we're calling quarter zero in 2023, September to the September 1 to, well, we're gonna call our anniversary 9/11 so we can take that back. But fucking September till December 31st, we got 1,564 downloads. So we needed 50. So we crushed that now here in June. And now in July, we've picked up the heavier fucking weight of needing to hit 1,748, theoretically also 2,000. So I know we say this every time, but man, I never thought we'd be fucking talking like this now. I thought we'd be just like, oh man, we finally broke, like 700 or 600 or something, Yeah. Fuck, 500 even, because prior to April, we hadn't even broken 500 downloads in a single month. We had been sub 500, so I thought, fuck, man, we were talking like maybe by the end of the year, we could maybe get up to the 1,000 mark. And it just goes to show you what a little bit of, not even a little, because we have a lot of it, but what a little bit of rage or a little bit of anger, a little bit of hate,
a little bit of vigor,
a little bit of fucking balls, what a little bit of that'll do to your productivity and to your end product is mind-boggling what that can do for you.
Oh man, I've subtracted so much shit from my life. All I've been thinking about is doing this shit every fucking week. The only times I get erections is watching Godzilla -1 when he's crushing humanity.
Oh yeah,
a real hero of mine.
Real fucking American hero.
Whenever we get numbers, I'm fully erect whenever I get those.
By the way, when I send them to you, I am fully nude and erect while I'm typing that out. As I'm tabulating the numbers, because I did it one time and the numbers were good. So now, like, fuck, I have to do it every single time or else it's not going to be as good.
I'm trying to think of other examples. So those are the main two. I'm very excited about the prospect of us crushing and exceeding 2,000. My speculation is that we'll reach that sometime around September. As I've actually said that on the previous episode of BFN. I said that December was 2000.
Yeah.
And if we end up passing that at some point in August, shit, man, we did it 1 month earlier.
Yeah, we did. And we'll see how July is going to go. Because as we kind of have previously discussed, that's like vacation month for everybody in the middle of the year. Like July and December are probably like the months that people are fucking just gone.
True.
So will they be listening? I don't know, but we'll find out. We're still going to produce the same amount, if not try to produce more. But we're going to produce at least the same amount as we've been doing, just keeping the pace going and trying to just, get more. What do we say? Brute forcing it? Like, even if we have to brute force it, whatever, don't care. It's still getting done. So
it also has made me realize that as we continue to figure out small optimizations or nitpicking things that we do, one of the most pivotal things that has ended up happening has changing the time for one episode, the length of it. We've basically cut it in half. And it's not because we don't have more to offer. It's simply because when it comes down to people's day, there's a lot of things that come first, whether that's family, work, other bullshit, buying groceries, all the other obligations. I think doing 30-minute to 45-minute episodes is enough for people to get enough information and then get them out and then let them go about their day. Because even an hour, I guess, is that as well. It's not, I don't think it's too much of a commitment, but I think cutting it in half makes it more realistic that people can listen through all the way. And that feels like a major change. And it feels like one that's been somewhat rewarding. I don't know if there's an exact correlation for. I don't know if there's an exact correlation for that. The results speaking for the changes that we're making, but I hope that's the case. But in any case, I do think whether we are right or wrong, I still think constantly changing every month and finding different solutions for things that we're encountering, I think that's the winning mentality. It's not even the numbers. It's just the fact that there is an obstacle. It's like, how do we overcome it? How do we go through it? How do we go under it? Whatever it is, it's just constantly evolving. Yeah,
I agree. I think that is the way to go. It doesn't really matter. I mean, honestly, yeah, the numbers are great, but honestly, they really don't matter. It's how we're conducting ourselves with the obstacles that are thrown in front of us, right? That's the main issue at hand. And if we're still getting numbers while overcoming obstacles, shit, man, that's even better. That's even fucking better. And yeah, the small optimizations here and there, that going from needing to try to hit at least an hour down to 30 minutes, it's I feel like it's made the episodes better because we're not trying to stretch shit out into some ridiculous thing. And there are some times when we just have enough shit to say where we go over an hour. We go an hour and a half or whatever. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at all. We're not saying we're just going to stop doing those. There is still no like cap, I guess you could say, on it. Oh, yeah, we're definitely not going over an hour. No. The optimization is to try to hit 30 minutes to an hour, right? That's the optimization. If we have shit to say. If we've hit 30 minutes and we have no more shit to say, perfect. End it right there, be done with it. And then if something else comes up, oh shit, let's start a new episode and now we're pumping out more episodes. And again, giving it to people in smaller, more digestible chunks, and like maybe like you said, respecting people's time. Because we know you don't have an hour to fucking sit here and listen to the whole thing most of the time. Hell, let alone fucking 90 minutes to listen to a whole long ass episode. So if we can break it down into 30 to 45 minute chunks, perfect. And then, still have the long format stuff available or around every once in a while. So people that like that, they can get a taste of that as well. So yeah, fucking good shit is what I say. Good fucking shit. So, what else you got?
Yeah, again, I'm still disappointed with the social media shit. That stuff with the Corona baseball team was the real hot ticket for a minute. So I've seen
it's still a hot ticket. Assholes are still liking it and watching it, commenting a month fucking later.
Yeah, it's
who cares now at this point? I almost want to delete it just to fucking have who cares now. Yeah. But it's a big number. I think that adds to our algorithm that we got that much.
It definitely helps. I mean, I haven't even begun to post clips for the interview we did with Yuri Kurosawa, but one of them did pretty all right, which wasn't even the teaser trailer, which was funny. It was a clip I posted about some pitcher named Roki Sasaki. That people, I mean, it got like 1,000.
Yeah,
it got 1,000 views and it got 16 likes. But we'll see what these next clips do. We'll see. I'm very curious.
I wanted to say, okay, so that Corona high thing got us 25,000 fucking views alone, right? Just for that one thing, and then there was a couple other ones that went into like thousands or whatever, right? Last month in June, we reached, I think, almost 10,000 accounts.
Yeah.
And the Corona High thing was, I think there was one video in that time period that got posted of the Corona High thing, and it was only like 800 views. So the so it was all of our other shit that we posted that got us basically to that almost 10,000 number, or at least 8,000, which I think is like the highest we've ever had on Instagram just alone in a month. Not counting obviously that anomaly of the Corona High thing, because that was an anomaly, right? Not an anomaly, but that was a specific issue that specific people were looking for.
Yeah, I'm still trying to. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
Oh, so I was just saying, even after that month of that one thing that we dinged on real hard, we still saw a major uptick in the average that we were getting prior to that month. You know what I'm saying? Like our average views on videos, I think, has definitely gone up for some topics. Anime, dog shit. Wrestling, sometimes dog shit. Well, no, wrestling has been popping lately. I take that back. Wrestling has been good lately. It's on TikTok that wrestling's been dog shit. That Booker T video that got whatever, like 1,400 and the Goldberg one, between the two of them, they got like 13 views. And I'm like, fucking for what? Fuck you, TikTok, you assholes. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I'm still looking for that in each thing that we do, for each every topic that we have for every podcast. I'm still looking for the things. I'll be honest. I'm going to be discreet about it. I mean, I will say that I'm looking for things that are provocative, that are going to have people engaging in things. And I don't know if I hit the mark every time. I mean, it's been more consistent than not, but it's still coincidental more than it is intentional, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's experimentation, I guess.
Like I have the intention of finding the clip that'll provoke people, but I can't control how people will react to certain things. So sometimes I get the bingo and sometimes I fucking don't. So I'm still working on that. That's the part I'm trying to figure out. I think once I unlock that, that's how we catapult ourselves to, in terms of social media, how we get. Well, anyways, speaking of the social media shit, very disappointed in you all. It's unacceptable that you listen to our shit, you don't do anything about social media shit. And as a result, I was rooting against Belgium. I know you're our number one fan base, but I actually prayed that Belgium would lose to France in the Euro Cup, and it fucking happened. So that's what you get.
You know what that actually tells me? That actually tells me that Belgium doesn't really have our back. They just want to come. They just want to come for the free. They're like raccoons. They just come for the free shit, the free food, and then they leave. You're just going to come for the free stuff, but you're not going to hang out and stick around for a while, you fucking assholes? Jesus Christ.
Belgian raccoons.
Belgian fucking raccoons. That's what they are. Fucking assholes. You know, I hope when Russia decides to nuke Europe, they get Belgium first. What?
Can we pause it for a second?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
All right. We're back. We had a slight, as Han Solo would say, weapons malfunction. And we had to change up recording. So now I'm here live in the studio, and Adam is now on Discord.
And now we're recording remotely for now. Yeah, so to keep going off of what we said, man, appreciate the support from the Belgians as far as listens go, but I don't know. Maybe we're getting fucking greedy, but then again, getting to 1,000 was getting greedy.
Yeah, it was greedy just thinking about getting there. So, yeah, whatever, fucking bastards. They may have helped. They may have contributed to the getting to 1,000, but they have definitely been a detriment to social media. And maybe that's because I don't even get that though, because if I can't even say that that's not that they don't speak English, because why the fuck would they listen to us if they didn't speak English? Unless they're just listening to us to learn all the bad words and all the bad habits that you could, say.
Possible. Do you have anything else to add about the subject of accomplishing our new goals?
No, I am thoroughly pleased with the way this has gone, and I am very much looking forward to the future of accomplishing our goals and pissing everyone else off even further.
You personally, what have you been working on?
Oh, what have I been working on? Just in general.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's game rage related or personally.
Well, I got back on the push-ups for real, because the push-ups were not the issue. I guess it was the eating was the issue. I was just eating. I was just out of control. I was doing like 2, maybe 3 days of excess calorie intake instead of, just the 1 day a week, which only, you just want to exceed by about like 500. And yeah, I was getting too crazy with it. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to dial it back. And then obviously 4th of July, I'm going to probably eat 3,500 to 7,000 calories in a single day. So
I like how you're approximating it already.
Oh yeah, no, listen, okay, first of all, I'll just tell you what's on, just to give this can be a side topic, but just to give a hint of what's going to be on the menu. It's going to be lobster tail, but I didn't know there was a difference between cold water and warm water. I didn't even know that was a thing. But I'm going to have both. And then I'm going to have one of those either ribeye. I'm going to have a couple of ribeye steaks going, or one of those giant ass tomahawk things. And then there's going to be sides. There's going to be sides, fixins, baked beans, barbecue beans, fucking Boston baked beans. I mean, pretty much any kind of bean you could imagine that would be good at a barbecue. Potato salad, both kinds, the red skinned and the mustard potato salad. It's going to be insane. And then there's going to probably be dessert. Why are we going to kid ourselves? I'm going to eat, like I said, fucking 12 to 15,000 calories in a single day and take this as like an eating challenge. And, then after that, though, it's back to the strict counting every fucking calorie and getting back on track. That's what it's going to be. But, that's like the physical fitness side of it. And then I've been working on some ideas, Game Rage related, in relation to the furtherance of our success level and beginning to open up new branches of content, specifically video stuff. I have a couple of little, I don't know if they're documentaries or whatever, but a couple of little ideas to start working on here in the next month or so. And then I kind of really want to get into focusing on the skits portion, because I feel like that's going to help us. I feel like shorts, like, I don't know what they're called, but there's the TikTok / Instagram videos where, they're a minute to 90 seconds and it's just something quick, boom, boom. It's funny. It's whatever. It's this, it's whatever it needs to be. Maybe a couple little short series. And I've been kind of working on those a little bit, plotting those out, how that's going to go. And, just see where it goes, because that's what I think the additional type of content that we can produce. Because again, it's like we've said before, multiple points of failure, right? So now that we've gotten to this 1,000 goal pretty, much sooner than anticipated originally, I feel like, okay, cool. Now it's time to capitalize on this momentum that we're gaining and also jump into the video version, I guess, as well. Not video version of the podcast, but, video content in general. So that's kind of what I've been going on there. And then, that's it. What about you? What have you been working on? Anything in particular?
Not so much about what you're discussing as far as trying to figure out ideas for 90-second videos and such. I think the only thing I'm really concerned about is trying to figure out how to cut down time in making reels for the podcast, because it does take me quite a bit of time just to make one fucking reel. And I figured out like a few things to speed up the process. So I've been working on that. I'm also trying to figure out, I don't know if we actually we did talk about this last podcast, but I do want the Without Censor podcast. Well, no, it was always the intention to open it up to different subjects and all that stuff. So I started looking at universities that were, regardless of what university it was, I'm just looking for interesting topics or fields of research that people are doing that capture my attention. But I'm also having a hard time realizing that, not that I'm like consider myself stupid or anything, but looking at those people that are coming up with the topics that they're researching, I'm like, dude, where do I even begin to ask questions? Because I don't even know if I'm going to be asking the right things or if I even understand the subject matter all that well. So there is like a bit of hesitancy to reach out to these people, because I feel stupid anyways, so it doesn't really make a difference, because when I reach out to people and I don't get a response or all that shit, I'm like, well, that shit sucks. But it's going to suck anyways if I reach out to these professors and make a fool of myself. But I make a fool of myself anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. So I'm just kind of creating like a short list of people I want to contact that possibly we look into for the interview podcast in the future. And then personally, I've also gotten back on the push-ups. I'm alternating every other day. So every day I'm like, well, not every day, but every day I'm doing push-ups. I'm increasing it by one. So where I was doing 12 sets of 5, I'm doing 12 sets of 6, but currently my count is 18. So I gotta tell you, man, like doing this shit it's been fucking great. Like it firmly aligns with like the killer instinct with just going going after shit and getting it. I feel like I'm getting back that edge that I kind of lost where I kept getting complacent about doing push-ups. Like I kept putting it off. So now I'm like doing the sets like in 4 hours because I was like, oh, I want to get the shit out of the way and I still want to do it. So I'll fucking do it. And I'll just bang them out as quickly as possible so that I don't have to worry about them. And as far as results go, I'm not really sure where I stand as far as results. I am seeing my chest develop, but I'm only like 3 weeks in, so I can't really tell where I'm at with that shit. But I'm just gonna keep doing the work, like pretty much like game reach shit. Like we continue to do the work, and maybe we'll see results, but it doesn't really matter. It's because the consistency and the diligence to do it. It's what it's really about.
Yeah, true story. Yeah, you're probably not going to see the development in the chest for at least, another month or two.
I definitely felt like the 3-month mark was the point in which things started to show a little more. But I don't know, man. when we were doing push-ups, when I was doing them consistently, there was points like where I would just move my arms and it felt like I was flexing. Or I don't know what it is, but any type of movement, I'm like, oh shit, I'm kind of flexing a little bit. My chest is not flabby and shit.
Yeah. No, I get you. It's a nice feeling to have, and then, when you lose it by fucking around and finding out, then you're just, shit, I need to get this back. This is bullshit.
Yeah. So, this is all really what all this is about is that once we cross the finish line of whatever that is, whether it's like making money off of this and having a continuous like revenue stream, or it's reaching a certain number on a certain number of followers for the podcast or whatever it might be. It's like, I want to be in fucking total alignment physically, mentally, and like spiritually, even though I don't believe in God. So when I get to that point, I am fulfilled in like every aspect. I'm not going to wait to work on my physical health until we reach a certain point. Like I'm doing all that shit as we are cooking and we're working our way towards, as we're climbing up the mountain. We're not fucking around.
Yeah, true story. We ain't fucking around, not like before. But yeah, you got anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right, cool. Well, I did want to, because we've passed our 30-minute mark, but I did want to get into our final little thing of the episode. I want to start doing this new, I don't know if it's a topic or a segment or whatever, but I'm just calling it the Idiot Entrepreneur, and it's basically just all the stupid business ideas I've come up with and tried to implement over the years. And I'm probably going to try to do them in maybe, chronological order. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just do them as it happens, but, or as I remember them and think of them. But the first one, like really the true genesis, or maybe it's not even the true genesis, but one of the first major ideas that I ever had that I actually executed on and made this was in the year, it was probably like the early 2000s. It was like 2000, maybe 1999. I don't know. I was like I think I was in like 6th or 7th grade when I did this, or maybe 8th grade. But basically, I was inspired by prank phone call videos, and I think Crank Yankers was a thing, but also previously to that, it was the Jerky Boys and this guy named Roy D. Mercer. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Have you heard of that guy?
No, I can't say that I have. That name doesn't really sound familiar.
All right, so Roy D. Mercer was this guy. Yeah, I honestly recorded these things. It was probably like in 2000 or 2001, which was a year, 2 years. It was like 2 years before Crank Yankers came out. And then when that came out, I remember thinking, God damn it, I fucking that could have been me. But Roy D. Mercer was this guy. He was like a Southern guy. He's like, oh, my name is R.D. Mercer. And he'd call up people and he would literally just call. And again, I didn't know how that shit worked because, again, at that time, I still partially believed professional wrestling was real. So, I didn't know what kayfabe was or that kind of stuff, or the business, as they say. And so he would call people up and just be like, I'm going to come over there. I'm going to kick your ass. And then he would just give people fucking fired up. And some of them were some of the most funny fucking things I'd ever heard in my life. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to start doing that. And again, not knowing how legalities work, because again, I'm like fucking, I don't know, 11 or 12 maybe at this time, and not understanding how things are and how they work. But I just grabbed a phone book, like the literal phone book that they throw on your door, that the yellow pages, and I just flipped through it and started fucking slinging pages and closing my eyes and picking a spot. And that's who I was going to call. So I had come up with a couple of different characters, and they're probably all highly offensive by today's standards. But I mean, listen, I'm just whatever. I'm going to just talk about them. So the one thing that I did is I had gotten I figured out a way to use the answering machine on the phone as a recording device, because I didn't have any fucking money. So this again, and this is really pre-legitimate, internet days. So like I had to fucking scrounge message boards and fucking chat rooms trying to figure out how to do this without actually spending any money. And so I had figured out kind of a way by piecing some information together to turn the answering machine into just a recording device where it would just record the calls. And it would just do it on, because, this was fucking early 2000s. It just, you had it was back when there was a little cassette tape that would be inside. Well, that was from the 90s, but my parents didn't fucking, they didn't have a fancy digital answer machine for who knows how long, but it was a little fucking little tape, and you had to get the little tapes to record, and you could record, I think you could record like 30 minutes on one of those little tapes. I think that's what the number was. And so I had, they were like, I think they were like $4 at the time. And so I had gotten a couple extra ones, and I was like, okay, I'm going to record fucking prank phone calls. And so I had a buddy, this guy that I was friends with, and we did a 3-way call, because I'm like, hey, you record them too, just in case it doesn't work right on mine. So like, I'll put you on, you put yourself on mute so that no one will hear you, and then you just record it, and then I'll record it as well. And so that was my fucking plan. And so basically, I had the characters that I had developed were essentially just ripoffs of characters that already existed. So I had a Jerky Boys character that was like the Arabian, like the Indian guy, and he would fucking just yell like from the Jerky Boys. It was a guy that he was like an Indian guy, and he would just yell like, "Why did you kick my dog?" Right? That he would just yell constantly about that and ask people that. So I came up with a character that, he was an Indian gentleman, and his name, which doesn't even make sense, because I gave him a fucking Middle Eastern name like an idiot. So it didn't even make any sense. But his name was Habib Papau Al Janziran. That was his fucking name. And I don't know how the fuck I came up with that name, but that was the fucking stupid name that I gave him. And instead of saying why did you kick my dog, he was, why did you kick my cat? Right. So I just took the same fucking joke and I just changed one of the things in it. So I just changed the animal that was being kicked, and it was to a cat. And of course, his fucking cat's name was Slurpee, and he was purple and yellow because he got underneath the Slurpee machine and he basically dyed purple and yellow from the Slurpees because this character never gave him a bath. So he was basically like the Lakers cat because he was purple and gold or whatever, but he's purple and yellow, right? So he's basically the Lakers cat. So he'd always say about how, he was the best cat because he loved the Lakers, and the Lakers were just the best and he loved them so much. And so anyways, so as I'm doing this with this guy, this was like the first incarnation of it. I call around to some people. I get through some, don't get through some others. But the one that I got through, that was the fucking, in retrospect, this was fucking horrific that I did this. But I called up some fucking number. I don't remember. Well, I do remember what the guy's name is, but I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to change the name. So we're going to change the name. The guy's name is going to be Billy, right? So it was Billy something that was in and yes, I'm using Billy because of the fucking, what do you call it? Segment when it was supposed to be Billy Gunn, but it was fucking whatever, some other's name. But I'm just going to use Billy because I don't know why it's in my head. So Billy is the guy's name. I can look him up, find his phone number, call. Someone answers, and it sounds like this fucking old lady, like, hello. And so I go into my shtick and I'm asking for Billy, the guy, Billy Jimothy. I don't know what the fuck his name is. So I ask him, and the old lady replies, he's not here. And I was like, okay, well, hey, he kicked my cat, and I need answers. I need to know why he went around and kicked my cat. And she's just like, oh, and so I'm like, hey, let him know when he comes back that he needs to call me back, and he needs to tell me why he, why he kicked my cat. And so then the old lady just says, he's not here. He's not, no, he's not going to do that. And then she like hangs up on me. So like, now I'm pissed. So I call back. I say the same thing, like, hey, I'm looking for Billy. And then she says, he's not here. I said, okay, well, like I said, I need to know why he kicked my cat. And I get him the whole shtick. My cat's name is Slurpee. He's gold and yellow. He loves the Lakers, blah, blah, blah. Old lady clearly does not understand what the fuck is happening here. And she's just like, Billy's not here. And so then she fucking hangs up on me again for a second time. So now I'm hot. Now I'm fucking taking this to the next level. So I call back. And I'm like, basically, I go into another slightly different Indian accent voice, and I basically say, oh yes, I'm looking for whatever Billy, and I'm looking for because there was another the lady's name, which I don't remember what the fuck her name was, but she was listening as well, and I said, oh, I'm looking also for this lady, and she says, oh, that's me, and so I basically said like, oh yes, well this is whatever the fuck the guy's name was. I don't even remember what the name I made up was, but some guy's name. And essentially we're looking for Billy because we need to know why he kicked Habib's cat. And I'm his lawyer, and I'm representing him, and we need to know the cat was injured. The cat's wearing a neck brace. The cat has, the cat's in a almost a half body cast. It's going to need physical therapy, and someone's got to pay for this. And Billy is the one who did it, so he needs to foot the bill for all these cats' medical bills. And then I had said that also the lady, like, you have been hanging up on my client while he's been trying to get this, and this is unacceptable, and you also need to be held accountable for whatever the fuck it is that, for hanging up, and that's just so rude. And then, but we need to speak to Billy, so you need to get Billy right now. And this fucking lady just yells at me as loud as her old lady voice can. She just yells, Billy's in heaven. And then I was just like, Billy's an old guy and he's dead. Shit. Fuck. And I honestly had no response for that. I was just like, and I just hung up the fucking phone. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know why are we doing this? What is, wow, that one fucking was ridiculous. And again, I remember that still to this day, fucking almost 30 whatever years later, 20 something years later, I still remember that to this day, that old lady fucking yelling at me that Billy's in heaven. and it's funny looking back now, but at the time it probably wasn't, and it was fucking terrible. So that was one of the forays into, and I had a couple other characters too. You know, I had basically a Roy D. Mercer-esque character that was like, rah, it was like some Southern guy just like, rah, I'm gonna come over there and kick your ass, you son of a bitch. Like, you know, it was, I don't know, something like that. Like, and I know that was like fucking more of a all right, you're not gonna get me, copper, than in the Southern accent, but at any rate. That was I had recorded some. I had recorded maybe like 5 or 6 up until I got to that old lady call. And then I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. And of course, it would have never fucking worked knowing what I know now, because you can't actually prank phone call people and then sell it on the internet or anywhere for profit, because you have to have permission to fucking record them in most states. So... And then if you're going to sell it, you have to get their permission to fucking put that out you need releases. There's all kinds of shit that you got to do, which is something that I learned later on when they do all the radio prank phone calls, that they're all fixed. They're all fake, that none of them are the actual recorded conversation, because you cannot do that. You what?
It's too much to ask, like, to get everything in order for that.
Yeah, there's way too many variables. There's way too much paperwork just for you to have been, oh yeah, we pranked you. And then who the fuck's going to agree to that if they're already mad that you prank phone called them to begin with? So they're not going to fucking record that or let you do it. So anyways, that was I had no name for it. I didn't even get that far with it, but that was one of my first forays into business or entrepreneurship. And there are several other stories that I have, and I'll just a slight preview just before we, bounce out of here. One of them was we tried to create a new UFC, like a competitor to the UFC. And I'll probably have to talk with that one. I'll probably have to do an episode with Frank about that, or a segment with Frank about that, because Frank was actually there when I was making that, because that was like right after we graduated high school. That was like the first legitimate thing that we did, was getting like business paperwork. We got fucking licensing paperwork. We started applying for the California State fucking Athletic Commission, trying to get licensed as mixed martial arts referees, as a promoter. Like, I'm not even fucking kidding you. So that's actually a pretty funny and good story. Also, there was a time when at one of the bootleg fucking schools I went to in the back 40, there was just this huge cachet of like marble that, looking back, it was probably some dumb fucking construction company that needed to just get rid of shit, and they just dumped it. But our plan was to basically get into the marble business, and we were gonna put this marble back together in slabs, and we were gonna try and sell it. And we tried, we gave it a good go. But that's a whole nother story there. And then also, the time that we did, try to start a porn company, that was something that we legitimately tried, and I put a stop to it after attempting to recruit. But I'll fucking, that's a story for another segment. So stay tuned for those stories potentially in the future. Not potentially, but definitely in the future on BFN. There's going to be some updated segments with idiot entrepreneur and trying to fucking make money. So anyways, yeah, you got anything to say about those?
Being idiotic, we're being idiot in the idiot entrepreneur, man. This is I don't know what's gonna happen with these segments, but I fucking hope people enjoy them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if anything, it's just for entertainment purposes, and also to, just show people that it's not like we just all of a sudden decided to do this one day and just come up with this fucking idea and we're just going to do it. There were several incarnations of something like this in my life prior to this actually getting off and going, essentially. So I don't know. It's just to provide that context as well and say, hey, just to show people, look, your first fucking idea is not going to fucking generally be the one that hits. It's probably going to take a lot more different versions of maybe the same idea, or maybe even utilizing a multitude of different ideas and a vast strategy to get to something that is successful. So, just to let people know, like, yeah, listen, if you're struggling with whatever you're doing right now, yeah, maybe you're just fucking up because you don't know shit. So maybe you'll learn eventually. I don't know. But anyways, that's pretty much it. So you got anything else?
Well, I'm just, I would like to say that I think as a result of doing all this shit, my whole perspective on life has changed, man. Like, I've said it before in previous episodes, but I think I really don't try to get hung up on whatever gets thrown our way, because now I just think of it, it's like, all right, well, you either do something about this or I can't. And that's the only two ways about it, I suppose. And I'm just, I think mentally I'm in a good spot. I'm like thankful to be alive to experience this, and to have my whole perspective change for the better. Because I don't know, man, there's something about living honestly. There's something about living life the way you wish it to be. And I feel personally that I'm doing that. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, at the moment I'm attempting to do that, but obviously when you have masters that you have to answer to with other things, then you don't you can't fully live your life that way. That's what this is for me, is my attempt to get out of that, to have no master, essentially, to just be doing what I want to do, and no one's going to tell me otherwise, essentially. So,
I mean, the process of doing it is the act of being free, I suppose. So, I mean, not even that you're waiting to meet the goal. It's just doing it, or at least that's how I see it.
Yeah, that's probably a fair point. So,
but in any case, yeah, I think more good shit's on the way, as long as we stay diligent about all the stuff we're already doing. I don't know what July is going to have in store for us, but regardless if we do well or not, doesn't really change anything.
No,
this train's going to keep fucking going.
Yeah, there's no brakes on this fucking train. So there's the work is still going to be getting done regardless of the numbers. And
true,
potentially even in spite of the numbers. So, anyways, all right. Well, fuck it. I guess we'll end it here. We did 53 minutes, so that's not bad. Anyways,
all right, cool.
All right. So, if you want to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, it's at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. If you want to follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official, and if you want to hear our full menu of content and podcasts, you can go to GameRageMagazine.com. Anyways, all right. Well, that's it for us. Belgium, get fucked. And we'll fucking catch you on the next one. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool. Because it's not recording us, but at least I don't think it is. All right, maybe it is. This has been the Butt Fuck Nowhere Show. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, subscribe and like on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. Also on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Also visit our website, www.GameRageMagazine.com, for a host of other podcasts and more. Thanks for listening.